Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Espinal came in a little earlier there. Also joining us is my co-host, my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage, and the cap god. It is Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
Hello, Chris.
Hey,
what's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is my brother returning to the podcast, but disembodied head, disembodied voice, not really joining us presently. It is Edgelord, Big News, Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hey. Oh my God, welcome back. We're back for another cool sode here for the show. Very excited. We got almost a full house. It's we got a monthly. We don't have Jujutsu Kaisen, unfortunately, but we got pretty much everything else, and I'm excited to talk about it. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Also, my new podcast, The Shweekly, dropped today at the time of this recording on a Monday. It's a comedy scripted podcast that I do. I'm not going to shout it out all that much because it's a lot, but check it out. It's The Shweekly on iTunes, Spotify. We have it on YouTube. There's no like video component to it really, but it's pretty much audio only. But if you like that kind of thing, check it out. It's a parody of the New York Times The Daily podcast, and a lot of work and money went into it. So help a brother out, check it out, subscribe, and enjoy. But yeah, that's all I got. Josh, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Follow me on both of them. I'm mostly on Instagram.
Ooh, yeah. Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/punchline.
Oh yeah. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, we don't do the poll anymore. I'm too used to like shouting out the poll on Twitter, but it's not there anymore. It's actually on our YouTube channel now. So you can vote on the poll on our YouTube channel. Subscribe so that you never miss it when we do it. It's usually the Sunday, or if I'm lazy, the Monday after the chapters drop on Viz's official Shonen Jump website, because we're official release boys here. So the poll is basically everybody gets to decide what their favorite chapter is, and I shout out the winner of the audience pick for the favorite chapter of the week on the show, and I got it this time as well. So tune in to find out who won. Very excited. Yeah, and subscribe just in general, just so you don't miss an episode. We do a full version of the podcast, but we also do a little editing and split out all of the individual series that we talk about and put them into their own videos. So if you guys have a favorite series, we basically section that out for you. You could also like, share, all that stuff. And if you want to leave a comment, that would be super helpful. Leave a comment, engage, let us know what you guys think about the show, about the chapters that we talk about, all that stuff. If you prefer, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with all those questions and all that stuff. We are backlogged on questions a little bit, but we will get to them. I promise, I swear, one day. I promise.
We should have like an episode just for questions.
We probably should, to be honest. I wouldn't mind doing that. a Q&A sode. But yeah, drop all that stuff wherever you see fit, whether it's the email or in the comment section. If you prefer audio podcasts, though, we're pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts, and every single episode that we've ever done from 2019. Can you believe that shit? We started in 2019.
Damn.
And yeah, and beyond. I think this the YouTube page only has from like 2021 onward, because our initial channel got nuked by Toei and Shueisha. So
Yeah.
we only have from episode 75 to now. So if you want to go all the way back in the time machine and figure out what we thought about the early chapters of Wano, that would be a good time, for example. But oh yeah, that's it. That's it for plugs, right? I think I'm not missing anything. And even if it was, it doesn't matter. You guys are here because you like the show anyway. So subscribe, all that stuff. And
Right.
let's get the party started. One Piece. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1075. Man, feels like yesterday. It was just 1000.
Yeah. Damn. 75 chapters from then.
Mm-hmm. And that's with breaks too.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
Lots of them.
Yeah. Chapter 1075, Labo Phase Death Game. So we get this cover page, and we've been covering this cover page series specifically because it's very relevant to what's going on right now. We see that Vegapunk has secured himself a meeting with the Five Elders when he was a younger man, before he chopped off half his head and made it into a giant satellite on an island. So that's interesting. He's pretty hyped about it. He's like, yeah. He's probably getting.
I would be too.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get paid right now. I'm gonna get this money. And the chapter picks up where we left off, where there is somebody inside of the Labo phase, which is the higher plane of the Egghead Island, where the satellites live and where all of the majority of the scientific work that Vegapunk does happens. Somebody has been messing around with it and basically trapped the Straw Hats and the Vegapunk satellites up there using like the laser barrier that the Vegapunks employed. So they're just trying to figure all this stuff out. Plus, Pythagoras has been blown up, it seems, at that point by a mysterious figure. And we open with Shaka trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. And he peeps on the radio, on like the monitors, that there's a figure just running around and just swiping these cameras, basically the snail cameras that they have. So somebody is on this island messing up, and from the looks of it, it looks like Jay Garcia Saturn, the celestial dragon, seems to be on this island himself doing this shit.
Is that who that was?
It looks like him. It certainly looks like him if you see the outline. If you look closely,
they have the same outline, a similar outline.
Like the hair, the little like hat that he has. I think that's him for sure.
It could also be Saul.
Well, why would it be Saul? Saul's like a friend.
I don't know. We haven't seen him in a while.
Saul the giant?
Yeah, Saul is.
Why would that be Saul? How the fuck? No way. He's not in that. His big ass, that nibble. No one's seen him yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's Saul. If it was Saul,
Watch it be Saul. You guys are gonna be like, "Wow, Brian, you were so smart and right all the time."
If that happens, then I will say that.
I'll bow to you respectfully.
For sure. For sure.
Shonen style. You know what I'm saying? If you're right, for sure. I could do that at least.
Yeah, definitely.
But with that said, boy, is you off the mark.
What are you gonna do if you're wrong, Brian?
You're like a Star Wars trooper, like with your aim right now with this one. Come on, there's no way that's Star Trooper. Yeah, you know. Whatever the fuck they're called.
Anyway, Jay Garcia is around fucking shit up. And Luffy is
How is that? I'm not.
That's Jay Garcia.
Kizaru's there.
I'm not letting you move on yet. Wait.
What do you mean?
How do you know that's Jay Garcia?
It kind
of looks like
that
him.
Again. Is that the guy that was
the guy with Kizaru.
Cool, right?
That was the
old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Goros hair.
One of the Five Elders.
I'm not saying old people can't do miraculous things in the One Piece world. That's not
Rayleigh.
What I'm implying.
Rayleigh is old.
I know. He's like the oldest or something. Well, anyway.
Well, technically, Correa's probably the oldest.
Why would he be running like how? why would he be running around fighting?
Because he's that guy.
Well, he was sent there. He probably went over there for a reason. It's not like he's just going to show up and just sit there. And
there's another reason I have reason to believe that Jay Garcia is on the island.
That is not enough. That's not enough. He doesn't.
I'll explain it. Because there's more hints that it's him for sure.
All right, we can move forward.
Okay, so Luffy is noticing that something's wrong, and he's like messing with his like little ear thing, and talking about how like he can't hear like their voices anymore. And I don't know if he's like using hockey or he just can't like communicate with them with the ear thing. It's probably the ear thing.
Yeah, it's the ear. It's the
antenna.
Yeah,
communicator or whatever.
Yeah, so he's just asking Shako what's going on. Meanwhile, we get to see what the other Straw Hats are up to. Nami and Brooke have teamed up with Edison, and they're all looking for Vegapunk, essentially. Everybody's spread out to look for the main body of Vegapunk. So, and Nami has found like some random treasures, and she's just basically stealing from them. They're synthetic diamonds that she finds. But, you know, she's pretty stoked about that, even though they're fake.
They look real enough.
It works for her. Meanwhile, we see that Chopper is teamed up with Robin and Atlas, and Chopper is just asking Atlas questions about how like her. Oh, so your face is a mask? And she's like, yeah, I can change my looks and body however I want. That's what the future is like. And they pass by these like little vats where these organisms that look like bacteria, I guess, just floating in there. Robin is like, oh, is this Vegapunk? And she's like, no, those are organoids in these vats, the lab-grown organs, you know, indispensable tech to the future of medicine. And Chopper's stoked. He's like, oh my God, you can make organs. That's incredible. And Robin is just like, oh, I thought they were dismembered bits of Vegapunk. And she's like, geez. Yeah, that's Robin's thing. She just be saying the darkest shit sometimes. With a regular face. Meanwhile, Luffy walks in and is like, hey, what the hell's going on, Shaka? And Shaka's trying to communicate with the other satellites. So Shaka explains that all the cameras on the island are going out one by one, and that there's definitely someone here sabotaging the lab. Meanwhile, we cut over to the 2F Building B, where we see that Sanji has teamed up with Jinbei and Stussy, and, you know, also looking for Vegapunk. Usopp has teamed up with Frankie, Lilith, and I forget the 6th Vegapunk, what her name is, but she's like the York, yeah, probably York. And they come across the bridge that was just blown up where Pythagoras was, and they find what seems to be Pythagoras's dead body on the ground, and they're just like freaking out. But then the little Pythagoras head pulls up and is like, oh, don't shoot, I'm here. It's me, Pythagoras. And they're trying to understand what happened. Pythagoras explains that they don't know what happened. He's like, could we have made a mistake in the design here? Where's York? And Pythagoras notices that York's not there, but we see that York has split off from them and is petting one of the seraphims, the Boa Hancock seraphim specifically. And she's like, oh, you're so cute. And it's a trap. And she gets immediately stone-faced by the seraphim, by the Boa Hancock seraphim. And it turns her into stone. And they're like, oh my God, what's happening? Why are you attacking us? And she shoots her laser, causing Frankie, Usopp, Lilith, and Pythagoras all to fall. Pythagoras is confused because he's a Vegapunk and he's not getting her to listen to her orders. It is not cool what's going on here. So yeah, basically kind of confusion all around. Frankie suggests that they fight back, but Lilith is like, no, we can't beat them in a fight. We created them to be the ultimate form of humanity. Speaking of which, we then cut back over to where Luffy and Zoro were hanging, and we see that the Mihawk Seraphim and the Kuma Seraphim have arrived together to attack them. That's not good news. because these are probably arguably the strongest ones of their time in the Seven Warlords. So I imagine their seraphims are just as tough.
Oh yeah.
But they simultaneously fire off attacks, and the Straw Hats grab Lucci and Kaku and dodge the attack. So Shaka's like, they're not obeying me. That would mean Vegapunk gave them the orders. And so, you know, basically at the end of it all, someone's trying to kill us all, and it's been planned from the start. At that point, Lucci and Kaku wake up from being KO'd. And they're like, kill us all? You Seraphim think we're a big joke? And they turn over to Luffy and Zoro, and they say, hey, how about we hit pause on our beef and we team up? We can help. Take these shackles off. To which Zoro and Luffy respond with like, with the with that face that Josh is doing.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they said, you don't seem to like that. And that's where the chapter ends. Damn, lots of stuff to talk about. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1075?
I think this was a cool change of pace chapter because the previous chapters were kind of lore specific. Like they were trying to like building up to us this like backstory, where this kind of just took a little break from that, from like world building. So it was nice. I actually can't think about anything else right now, but why you believe that's absolutely sad.
Well, because we know that the only
this is the time for you to explain.
Because we know that the only people that are above Vegapunk that can give the Seraphim orders are the Celestial not the Celestial Dragons, the
Gorosei.
Yeah, the Gorosei. So they're they're fucking shit up here.
Yeah, but we also established that like I think if they're of the same clearance level, they can't override orders.
Well, there's a hierarchy where it's like members of the CP0, Sentomaru, the Vegapunks, and the Celestial Dragons / the Five Elders.
So it could be that there's a Vegapunk that betrayed them and gave an order to destroy them.
It could be. It's a possibility.
That. But it is likely Shaka. That is Jake saying.
That's what Shaka thinks it is, but
all right, because wait, that's what Shaka said?
Shaka said that a Vegapunk must have given them the orders, but they also don't know that it's one of the Five Elders here. Like they would have no reason.
The only one that's higher.
Yeah, they would have no reason to suspect that the Five Elders would come down here. It's crazy that they are though. Because look at it. Look at this fucking
one
outline.
Of them are, at least.
Yeah, it's one of them is here. Look at him. It's the same outline.
It looks like him. Yeah, it looks like him a lot.
I pulled him up.
I can't see it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's him. Bro.
I'm going to talk about that's all right. Contrivance isn't the word, but man, does it feel like it's the right word.
Why?
That's
what's so crazy about them being able to
blurry. Fight. It's not the same.
It could be him. Most
it
likely,
looks like him
based off of his silhouette. That it could
all right,
be him.
I accept the.
It's not guaranteed.
All right, maybe because he does have
you see the little the hair.
I just think that if he is here, then that means that Kizaru's already here as well.
That's a possibility.
That's what I'm saying. The fuck are they waiting for?
I'm pretty sure they would have mentioned that Kizaru showed up. To be honest,
we'll see. I have a distinct feeling it's him for sure, but those are my reasons. The silhouette plus the fact that the only people above the Vegapunks who are looking for the the main Vegapunk, unless like the Stella is out here doing this shit.
Yeah.
But he needs to leave. He's trying to leave the ship.
I think the Stella is betraying them.
Which one?
And I think the Stella is just lurking around.
That would be crazy. That last one's
I'm siding
crazy.
with Brian actually on this one.
The Stella.
I think it is Saul. I have a feeling that it's
Saul than Jay Garcia. And no, it's not because I'm being spiteful.
You are being spiteful. That's crazy. You say that. That's wild that you're saying that. It's him. It's Jay Garcia.
Mr. Saint Jay Garcia.
No way.
I think that these elders are strong as shit.
They should be.
They're probably
especially the really tall ones.
And I think it's more interesting if they could all just fight. Imagine that. Like, these characters are usually just like the Dark Council that don't really do anything, that got goons for them. But if the council, but if the Gorosei themselves can fight, that's another one-on-one battles extraordinaire that has to happen.
It almost made me spin my chair, bro. Almost.
Whoa.
Yeah, almost. That sounds awesome.
It is awesome.
In more ways than one.
And what if he's not the only one mobilized? What if like all of them split off into different parts of the world to handle different situations?
Oh,
what else is going on that they would split off?
That would be pretty fire.
What did you say, Brian?
Or they all have abilities based on their planet. Or something.
Yeah, they all probably have abilities. They all probably have devil fruits of some sort. I would not put it past them to be able to fight. But
yeah,
Josh, what else did you think about this chapter?
I thought nothing else, actually. Brian, did you have any key thoughts?
I think the prospect of Luffy and Zoro teaming up with Lucci and is it Kaku or Haku?
Yeah, Kaku.
It's Kaku, right?
Kaku.
Yes.
I think the prospect of those guys working together is a super fun fucking idea. I'm really interested to see how it plays out. I'm pretty sure they're gonna end up backstabbing them eventually for sure, because that's just how they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think they're setting up a lot of interesting little team ups and setups for the future and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens, because a lot of these chapters have just been setups. You know, we haven't gotten to the real meat of the arc yet. Because right now he's establishing a lot of the scenarios, but once shit kicks into fucking full storm, it's gonna be crazy good.
Yeah. Were those all your thoughts, Brian?
I need to interject.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So Brian, you said you're pretty excited for this team up.
Yeah, I'm interested. It's gonna be fun.
Chris, how do you feel? Are you excited for the potential team up?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty interesting. I mean, we have precedent that the CP0 don't or like these guys specifically, Lucci, Kaku, the other CP9 members, they've been at odds with the government before. So it's not like an out of nowhere type of thing. It's pretty
plausibility
cool.
There. Okay. So before you get into your real deep thoughts, okay. So, and I'm very interested at the prospect of that happening as well. However, let's play a game. Let's say if you took your age and subtracted it by 15, how excited would you have been at this moment?
I'd be 15.
Let's start with Brian.
Wait, what?
If you took your age and subtracted it by 15
years.
Took my age and subtracted it by what?
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
15 years?
Yes.
You'd be 10?
How excited would you have been for this moment?
You'd be 10 years old, right, Brian?
I would be 10 years old.
Ooh.
I guess I would be still pretty excited.
Like about the same?
Yeah, about the same, I think.
What about you, Chris? What you think?
I guess seeing as how I was like 15 and I was probably catching up or have been caught up to One Piece by then and still have like the fresh excitement from Enies Lobby.
At
and still
least
being
Water
like
7 in Enies Lobby.
Oh yeah, I've definitely cleared those by now. And
okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty stoked about that.
Oh, that means I wouldn't know what the fuck is going on.
Like we're talking about like on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 80, right?
That's like not 10. You said 80?
Yeah, it did.
Derp.
No, I meant to emphasize that.
No, you didn't. Stop like, it.
8 times.
You said 80. You said on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm talking about like 80.
Yeah, that much more.
You could have saved yourself by saying just percent.
I was making the joke of exact. You know what?
Were you?
What I'm trying to say is, 15-year-old us would have been out the fucking window about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been outside my window right now.
Yeah, and how about you now? How about you as a 30-year-old?
It's very mellow. It's like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. You know, so not that no chair spins.
Yeah,
when I read it earlier. You know what it got from me? A head nod, like okay, let's see.
Yeah,
let's see.
Well, that's just the wisdom of age, of being hard traveled.
Oh, metaphorically speaking, through all the series we've read.
And, we've absorbed a lot of stories. I agree. I wasn't like spinning my chair either.
The word is jaded, but I mean, it's still exciting.
Yeah, I wasn't spinning my chair about it, but I was still like, well, that's cool. I'm here for that.
Yeah, everyone listening, I want you guys to think about that. I mean, remember the younger you, if you're not already a teenager or adult listening, but the adults that was reading manga for the real vets,
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back to that time when it dropped on a Friday and you was like, oh boy, what's Pain gonna do next? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let your inner child enjoy this.
What's Sasuke about to do next with this Sharingan? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Danzo has a Sharingan? Oh, wait, he has 12?
On his arm?
I mean? I was starting to get jaded at that time, actually.
Really? Damn, that was early.
We was going in on that.
Oh, yeah, his eye arms. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You guys called it the kaleidoscope or some shit?
Did we?
Yeah.
I actually don't remember.
Like that.
I don't remember what we called it.
We boiled him for
we did boil
18
him.
minutes.
Yeah, we were young and energetic, and we boiled everything that we touched.
You guys would go kaleidoscope.
We're gonna use this. Yeah. All right. Well, are we all? Did you give your deep thoughts yet?
No,
Chris?
I didn't give my deep thoughts.
Shit. All right. Let's
honestly,
go.
Like through our little discussion, I've expressed a lot of my deeper thoughts already.
But have you accumulated any new ones?
Not particularly. I guess I'll just like reiterate, if this is Jay Saturn or Jay Garcia Saturn, the saint himself, coming in and personally taking care of business, I love that idea. That it just gives my respect to the Gorosei so much more, because like for a long time I've always pegged them as just these guys that are like sitting back and be like, that one, destroy that one. But no, if it comes down to it, they'll do it their fucking selves. And
this is now problematic. So I'm going to get down there.
Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to come down myself and take care of shit. I think that's really cool. If that's the case, if it is Jay Garcia, it adds just like a new level of threat to just like the world government, as if we didn't need already like another antagonist group, because we have like 15 at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about it, because these characters in theory are like ones that that Oda has had in mind forever. So we know their powers are going to be pretty wild if they have any. I wonder why Jay Garcia's Saturn specifically, if he's like some science guy that is specifically the best guy to take care of this island in particular.
So there's the theory, because Saturn is related to time, that he's in charge of covering up the
events of the past,
the Void Century. So anything related to the Void Sentry or
he himself,
government cover-ups.
How is Saturn?
Like, he's the guy who oversees it.
When you say Saturn is related to time, do you mean that he's like that? The planet is.
Yeah, the planet is like the symbolism for the planet is time.
Oh.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Where'd you read? Like, in what folklore? I just never heard of that.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
I mean, that is interesting. So I wonder what the other planets are. I mean, what is like Mars, like.
So Venus is love, Mars is
war, right?
War, I think.
Oh man, one of these motherfuckers is war.
Pluto is death.
Yeah,
but that's already a thing.
Mercury.
Okay, so
Uranus.
In Roman mythology,
not my
Saturn
anus.
is time.
Go on, Brian. Sorry,
Brian.
In Roman, Saturn is time, is the Time Lord or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is in Roman. Okay.
Yeah, and Gaia's Earth, of course. Aries is Mars. Zeus is Jupiter. Hermes is Mercury. So I guess that's like the messenger.
Yeah, we don't know any of the other.
Who's Saturn again? Who's Saturn?
Jay
Kronos.
Garcia, the guy that's on the island.
Shit, no, Kronos. So that is time.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh.
And all right, so basically with the three what's it called? The three ancient weapons.
Yeah.
The 5 Gurusei would be the ones to fill in the rest of the galaxy. Or the rest of the solar system, essentially.
Well, one of them's Poseidon. So which one would that be? There's Uranus. Not
That's
mine.
Neptune.
Oh yeah, Neptune. Wow. Damn.
So
that's crazy.
There's Poseidon, there's Uranus, and there's Pluton, which is Pluto, and then the last 5 would be the Gurusei, right?
Yeah, and there's like potential that like these weapons can be people. We haven't seen the Pluton necessarily. The Pluton has been set to be a ship, but we haven't seen.
So the Gurusei could be ancient weapons of their in their own right.
Yeah, and so can Uranus.
Well, there's
no,
only
no,
3...
Josh, not Uranus.
Yes, I know.
I think Uranus could be fucking Eneru.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Imagine
highest chance for me. Because he mentioned that Eneru will be back, and I think
he said that.
Yeah, he has mentioned it before.
We'll have to see, man.
That's why everybody's so hyper aware of fucking when Eneru will show up. They'd just be bringing out, oh, fuck, he said Eneru will be back, so he's gonna show up right here in Wano. He's just gonna show up in Wano. That's what he's gonna do.
We all did that at some point.
Anytime there's a silhouetted person, that everybody thinks is Eneru first.
Yeah, that's true. At this point, even I think it's Eneru.
Like, it makes sense for it to be Eneru, for Eneru to be Uranus.
It does. He's coming in from the sky. He was on the moon up till now.
Didn't they always have your I don't want to say it anymore.
They
always have the ancient weapon though?
No, they only have
ancient weapons could probably be replicated, much like Pluton.
Yeah, that's true.
Pluton was?
Well, you can
Pluton
rebuild.
Can be replicated.
You can rebuild Pluton in theory. That's why they wanted the blueprints. Because in theory, you could build it again.
So there's the Pluton that exists, and then there's the blueprints for Pluton that exists as well.
Well, they don't exist anymore. Frankie burned them.
That's what you think.
Oh, he burned them.
He probably memorizes that shit.
Yeah, that's possibly a thing.
They can't replicate Poseidon.
No, Poseidon's a person, which is Shirahoshi.
I'm surprised they even let her go to the reverie. They should have kept her home. But they don't know. Everyone didn't know that, right?
I actually don't know. They probably knew, or they probably don't know, because that was like a fact that was given it to us by like exposition, like the box, the narrator in theory. So it could be possible that nobody knows she's Poseidon, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a pretty cool theory that technically all of them could be ancient weapons, and there's 3 that just split off and are like lost. But I don't know. There's just so much that has to be explained left in One Piece. I don't know how he's going to do this in 5 years.
I believe in that.
It's easy. It won't be done in 5 years.
I know. I've never taken that seriously. I feel like when they give you their timelines, they don't know. They're just like, well, 5 years is what I think, but that doesn't mean that's what it's going to be. Anyway, those are pretty much all my thoughts on it. I'm excited to see Luffy and Kaku and Lucci and Zoro team up. That'll be cool. Especially we get to see more of their awakened forms, all of them. It would be pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't got much else to say on One Piece. Fantastic chapter. Do you guys have any final closing thoughts?
No.
All right, let's move onward. My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia chapter 380, a skosh. It's been 2 weeks since we had My Hero Academia, and we are greeted with a normal-sized chapter, actually. That's nice. 17 pages. Yeah. Last we left off, Midoriya has taken Shigaraki down to just plain old Earth. They're fighting in the city now. Meanwhile, Gentle Criminal is using all of his might, combined with Labrava's, power boosting, to hold up the UA facility that is careening towards the ground. And Labrava, in the meantime, is trying to find a way to restart the program that sends the thing flying again. We get a point of view from Gentle Criminal as he's sitting there just watching Deku and Shigaraki fall to the ground. He's like, I saw the boy. I dare say that was the boy I just saw. Does his departure point to the faith he's placed in me? No, he probably doesn't know I'm even here. But yeah, he's like, no camera, no audience. My actions here today earn me neither cheers nor jeers. Only the joy of being alive and present I feel in my heart, which is a nice little sentiment. But he does peep that the business course is taking pictures of him and, just recording him. And he's like, do not risk your nets. Hurry yourselves inside. And the business guy is like, that one villain supposedly in custody is the one holding up all of us up right now. This is awesome, I guess. And Gentle Criminal's trying to get him to jump back inside and be safe, but they're like, no, we're doing our best too. Trying to reform the bond between Hero and civilian. So they're filming all of the events that are going on right now, so that they can document to the people that it's not just heroes that are trying their best, but also people who have been deemed quote unquote criminals that are out here risking their necks for the betterment of society. So that's kind of nice. And we see that Labrava's voice kicks in from the phone, and she's like, oh, you kids are something special. And she explains that so because of UA's electromagnetic barrier, she was able to hack their phones. But she says, keep filming, heroes. And imagine Gentle Criminal going through all this trouble and have nobody see him do it. He might have made peace with that, but I say nuh-uh. And she clicks a button, and all of a sudden the repulsor things, the booster shit, well, I don't know what they called, the thing that boosts the whole fortress activates again, and they start flying up. Meanwhile, we catch a glimpse of the twice clones that Toga made on these wires, and I'm wondering if they're like this fuel source of some sort. Oh no, they're holding up that inner platform where the school is actually resting on, I think. And they're basically breaking it apart. We then cut to Shirakumo / Kurigiri on the ground, and he's looking up, at the collapsing platform. He sees that Aizawa and Present Mike are falling off, and he basically teleports them away from certain doom. Kaminari is watching on, and he's like, wait, he saved our teachers? And one of the Pussycat dolls is like, or he was just removing erasure from the playing field. So, it could be either or. So all we have to do is all we can do is to keep fighting and have faith in Midoriya. And we see that Midoriya and Shigaraki are fighting on the ground. We don't see much of that. We just see it through the lens of the business kid filming them. We then cut over to All For One heading towards Shigaraki, basically. And he's basically like, my original scheme was for him to become me in his entirety and melding minds. But Tomura's impulse for destruction eclipsed all my hopes. But that is a minor detail. Now that this role is done, injecting my quirk factor into Tomura will broaden my authority and put a lid on him. So he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to take over, even though
right. It's fine. Even though all that shit that's happening right now,
it's whatever. Once I give up this body,
within the grasp of my plan.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hawks is trying to stop him, saying that you ain't reaching Shigaraki on my watch. He takes a swipe with his feather blade, but All For One counters by basically blowing him up, and just like he gets torn apart, and Tokoyami's like, no, but then all of a sudden Hawks looks like a handsome prince, and Tokoyami's face here kind of made me laugh a little bit, where he's like, what?
I didn't see that until that.
He said, and we see that the illusion is fading away, and it's Kamiye from the Shigetsu school. She came in and she used her quirk, which is illusion. And she says a bunch of random kids today words.
Unalive.
She really said no cap.
Yeah, she did say no cap. And he had explanations for each of them.
Yeah, I do love it. I like that. I like to think that most mangaka are probably like boomers on the inside, because they just stay so locked in, and they're like, they don't like they only hear of culture third hand, basically, of like slang and shit, because they don't have much of a social life because of their busy schedules. So I feel like he just looked up a bunch of what the kids are saying today and put it all into Kamiye here. And she literally just says, if I'd been a Scotch later, you would have unalived that certified hottie I'm simping for. Not very fetch of you, no cap.
No cap.
Yeah. So
that's great.
So we get an off-screen explanation about, as faction receiving refugees from UA, we were designated as a purely non-aggressive defensive force. However, the refugees have yet to arrive, and since we've deduced the imminent danger and impending ruination, we took it upon themselves to assemble Shiketsu's high school hero course and assist in battle. And we get a 2-page spread of the Shiketsu kids that we're familiar with, the meatball kid, Kamiye, and the wind god coming through and saving everybody. I forget his name, but he came in.
His name's Gale Force, I think, right?
Gale Force is his hero name, yeah. And he says, listen up, pal. I'm the guy who decides which way the wind blows. And that's where the chapter ends.
Can I just say RGC?
Oh, yeah, you can say that. What do you think, Josh? Not yours, I imagine?
No.
It's not mine either, but, it put up a valiant effort. But Brian, this is Brian's really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Oh shit!
There's no Jujutsu Kaisen this week.
Oh right, that was last week.
Anyway, well, I guess since you gave it your RGC already, Brian, what did you think about? You could give your thoughts first.
I was wondering when this guy was going to come back. Like this entire time, I was wondering when this guy was going to.
The world was.
Oh, you're talking about the blonde kid, right?
No, I'm talking about Gale Force, the fucking wind guy.
Oh, I guess.
Because he was like the foil to he was like what's his name? Todoroki, the Todoroki of that school. Like extremely powerful quirk. Really full of himself a little bit, you know, overconfidence. He was a really interesting character, and he kind of just showed up and then disappeared for an extremely long time. Like this is the first time we've seen him in like 100 chapters, right? It feels.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a really long time. The
like,
last
we
time
haven't seen this guy in a long
the
time.
last time we saw him was when Todoroki and Bakugo were going for their provisional licenses. So that was years ago.
Yeah, it's a really fucking long time, and this guy is he was the number one guy in his school, right?
Yes, he's that guy.
So he is him. He is him, and we have not seen him in so long. So it's just so cool to finally see him show back up and be like a force on the battlefield, like one of the changes of the tides, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really fucking sick to see this guy come back. And I really liked his design. I liked his character. I liked his powers. So having him back in the story is just so fucking good. He hasn't fallen flat like the other guy from the other school. Remember the Earth guy?
Oh, the vibrational guy. I forget his name too. Shinso. Not Shinso.
That guy kind of fell flat. He wasn't as much of a big deal compared to, you know, UA and the other guys. But it's really cool to see this guy show up in such a pivotal moment, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. Because right now he's hitting the marks on the people who have to be showing up right now. You got the Gentle show up, which is so fucking good. And now you got this guy, and I wonder who else he's gonna pull out of the woodworks to help out in this situation. But
yeah,
those are my thoughts for this chapter. Very fun.
The superpower, the kid with the water ability. He's gonna come in.
Yeah, imagine he shows up. I think also Stain needs to show up to some extent.
Yes, and Tsukauchi.
And also we have to
he's
find
there.
out what All Might's up to.
He's with La Brava. Tsukauchi, you mean the detective? Who then?
All Might.
Oh.
You know who would be really
What's his name?
cool?
Toshinori. Toshinori.
It would be really fucking cool if the main character from Vigilante shows up.
That would be fire.
Be fucking sick.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
It would be so fucking sick.
Maybe if I read it, then it would be fire.
I'll tell you what, Josh.
He's a really cool fucking character. Like the way he uses his quirk.
I'll tell you what, Josh.
Sick.
I'll offer a compromise.
The pose he gets in?
Huh?
You like the pose he gets in? You like that shit?
What are you talking about?
You like his 3-point stance?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, freaky bastards.
What are you
guys?
Me? Why are you lumping me into this?
I don't know where their windows is at, but
okay. I'm trying to cut you a compromise, Josh. I'm saying I wouldn't spin my chair about it, but I think it would be
okay.
It would be cool. I'd be like, oh, that's nice.
Right. I guess because you killed the hype down a little bit, I'll retract.
See, that's your See, this is our mistake, Brian. We can't say we're excited about anything. We got to say that it's cool.
That I didn't see yet.
I mean, I haven't read Vigilantes all the way either. I've probably read 10 chapters of it.
But that means you're missing a vast amount of context.
Probably am.
To this story and we're on the same boat.
It's not a vast amount. There's just certain things.
I mean, I'll read it. I would read it. I'll read it. Why not? I'll try to read it.
Like, there's
comment if we should read My Vigilante Hero, Brian Academia, and I guess Chris too.
I'm open to giving it a shot. Again, I mean, I liked what I read. Anyway, Brian, you could continue your thoughts.
But yeah, I think Crawler showing up would be sick.
Who?
That's him. That's the Vigilantes guy.
Just talked about it.
That was the Vigilante. That's his name, the Crawler.
yeah, Crawler showing up would be really fucking awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next here. You know, gotta enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name is dead. Overhaul had his moment and he did nothing.
He's not dead.
Well, he's dead inside.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's not the same. He's a shell of for his former self.
Yeah.
He's probably back with his mafia. He'll probably restore his humanity a little bit. Maybe he will show up.
Maybe he'll give Erie a call and say, "I'm sorry, my bad."
Well, Midoriya said to do that. Midoriya told him to do that.
Oh,
you say I'm sorry.
Well, maybe, yeah. Hopefully, he does that.
Yeah. Anyway, were those all your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah.
Josh, what did you think?
Thought this was a really fun chapter, a fun read from top to bottom, legitimately, and it went by fast for me. I didn't even realize that it was a full page chapter.
Right.
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so too.
But I guess there's two things that kind of stuck out to me a little bit. One thing, all right, so let's talk about this business class real quick. I know what he's trying to do. I get what he's trying to say. Him being Horikoshi. That, these guys, they're heroes too. They're part of this hero academy, and god damn it, the least they can do is this, and they're gonna try their hardest. I don't have an issue with that at all. I really don't. And someone should do it. Do I think that should be the primary role of the business students? I suppose that there's nothing else they could do, which actually is the case. There is nothing else they can do.
Yeah,
and
I
I
don't understand the business students whenever they show
why
up.
There's a business part of My Hero, like the school anyway. Now we could have that larger conversation another day, but I am curious. How does that sound to y'all? I'm sure we can make sense of it.
Well,
I guess you need people to make money for the heroes.
Well,
and there are hero agencies and stuff.
Well,
I get it. It's hero capitalism, so it's
a little bit, yeah.
Get business function to it. It's dumb as hell to me. It's completely contradictory to the whole point of helping and rescuing people and being a hero. From what the show itself presents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't.
This wouldn't be the first inconsistency.
I don't disagree with you.
I mean?
I think there's facets of heroism in this series that run across all the courses, of My Hero. Obviously, there's just the heroics in general, how people just kind of get into it for the fame, like people who are qualified to be heroes in general in the eyes of these schools. The business and general studies courses are generally for people who can't be heroes, or maybe they don't. Maybe some of them choose not to be and find value in other facets. I guess the more, I guess the most altruistic thing I can think of is that they help probably set up an infrastructure for each of these heroes to have an agency, and everybody I guess makes a living being a hero, as like law enforcement people do in a way. There's definitely a marketing thing, a lot of, and that's not a good thing about Hero Society, honestly. And I think Horikoshi touches on that somewhat briefly. It's not touched on enough, but
it doesn't have to be inherently bad.
No, but there is
who's funding it and what it actually is in of itself and what's the nature of it. But like you said, he did touch on how they made it problematic. It was getting to a point where it was starting to get problematic.
Yeah, there's definitely
I agree with that.
There's a thing where in the very beginning of the series, in the first chapter, where they explain they get endorsements and stuff like that, and a lot of hero work. They're competing for I guess publicity in a way, it was displayed with Kamui Woods and Mountain Lady, where one of them gets, the guy who saves the best and wins the most gets the better deals and more lucrative career and all that stuff. that was like touched on. It wasn't expounded upon as much as it probably could have. But there is an acknowledgement that that's a thing. And but anyway, that's that's what the business course is kind of for. I think like
from your point of view, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if there is a good part of business, I think like if you're gonna have this society, I guess it's good that there are people out there just like, okay, well these guys they have to like pay the bills too, I guess. So, giving them a foundation to do this thing, and everybody helps each other out in a way. Like it's a win-win for everybody. People make a living and a lot of people get saved.
It certainly could be. Yeah. Because again, it's not fleshed out much in the show for us to see. But
no,
I don't see why you couldn't infer that. You know what I'm saying? And I actually wanted to also hear. I don't know if you had any like thoughts, because I had something I was gonna say on the matter.
Oh, you can go for it.
Do you have any thoughts on the business class and like their role?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I just don't
how it makes sense to you, Brian.
I think that the business class, like mostly what Christian says, is that
which I agree with a lot of what he said too.
A part of Hero Society, like at least this version of Hero Society, is also a business, like the agencies and recruitment and like the sponsorships and all that stuff. And that's part of the reason why the world, like, these kids show like a bright side of it, of course. Like they're supposed to be the future of like hero business, like they're supposed to be the shining bright version of it. But there are just like, Deku and his gang are the bright side of and the future of heroism. Like there are people who are the bad side of it, and that's why society is the way it is today, is because heroes have mostly been monetized. Like they have mostly been about getting money and what's the most profitable thing you could get a hero for, and a part of that society is business. So if you're going to be in the hero business, you might as well, teach it and keep that thing growing, if that makes any sense. So it's like, I agree, it could be like a little wonky, but if you think about it from that perspective, I feel like a hero course makes sense a business course makes sense for My Hero Academia or UA, especially since it's such a mainstream school as well. Like it's a pretty big name. So having people represent it on like for a public scale who like professionally do that would be really, really smart to kind of cultivate.
Yeah, it is tough because it's not all this like kind of unsureness is not from like, I don't want to say bad world building, but it is inefficient, I guess. We just don't have enough.
This is a lot of this is conjecture. That's just the reality, right?
This is just things we're inferring from these context clues that we get from everything that we've absorbed so far, because a lot of this story is very focused on Deku. It's not necessarily a story about like the world,
right? And yeah, nor I don't think
and it doesn't have to be
ever tried to make it seem that way either. In all fairness, and that you can do that while still introducing global world building without it being essentially about the world or the real world. Anyway, so all right, I had some thoughts on it, right? And as far as how I think like a business course is effective in like a hero school, right? So for me, honestly, when on the first read, this shouldn't be like this shouldn't be a big surprise to people who already listen. But I criticize capitalism often, and I truly believe that it is the root of almost all of our problems in the world, or at least the biggest issues, the most important issues. So with that said, I took a moment to think, like, you know what? Business in of itself isn't an inherently bad thing. The way it's expressed in our world, under capitalism is usually harmful, but within this hero society, right? Like they could use their smarts for a good purpose. They could use their economic skills, to actually make plans to say, oh, well, how could we spread money equally, or how could we address these problems economically from a point of justice, from a point of trying to help out people, like that real hero set. Like that sounds great, because at the end of the day, like in any political system, you're gonna need economists. Even anarchists, even on the like, if you talk to any anarchist, any well-read anarchist that actually doesn't look at it as like, oh, fuck all establishment and everyone go crazy. Anarchists still think that we need to have communities and be nice to each other and shit, and communicate. But I know with that said, like they need people to make plans for, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we still have to interact with each other. That's commerce. You know what I'm saying? And that can be an economist role. But even not in that really specific setting, if you just take it, in that like just small example, if you take it to the actual series itself, you can see that, hey, they can try to make the world a better place through their business acumen and weed out the nefarious people, the people that want to exploit others and take advantage of, like, the laws and stuff. So I just thought it was cool. I think with all of that said, this is still, I said that before, Chris, about conjecture. This is conjecture because, man, I wish I wasn't just kind of like creating this off the top of my head. I wish I seen this in the story, but I only say these things about the story because it's a story worth criticizing. And I mean, that goes for every other episode in the past, and moving forward. This is a series that's worth looking at critically and reflecting on and reading it again. You know what I'm saying? All right, those are my thoughts on the matter.
Yeah.
I do agree, though.
Do you have any final big boy thoughts, Chris? Oh, do you have any thoughts, Brian? Any rebuttals?
There's one more thing. I do feel like, there was an opportunity to see like the business side of hero agencies and stuff with the Sir Night-Eye stuff, or with Endeavor's agency. Like, I feel
when
like
they did the work studies and shit.
Yeah, when they did the work studies and shit, it would have been cool to see like the like what the business of heroism is like, as well as like being like who runs the actual company. Is it the hero himself, or is it like an actual CEO or some shit like that,
Yeah.
I think that would be really interesting to see, but we already passed that bridge.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with both of you guys. I really did like this chapter, and like Brian said, everything that we're seeing here is that, like, the society was great once, and then it lost its way pretty dramatically, and then now we're seeing in all these kids that they're understanding and learning from the consequences of the fall of the hero society, that what has to change and what we have to do to improve society. And the thought is that after this war is over and everything's settled on that end, we can start making like societal changes and business practice changes, however you see it, in terms of the courses. So it was cool to see the business class get a little bit of shine, although we've seen some of these. I remember this kid with the hair before, like he's popped up, but I don't know his name. He's just like one of the business characters with the more standout designs, so I remember him in that regard. If we did have like a little, maybe even a mini arc of that, of like focusing on the other courses and what they contribute, it would have been cool to see, and would have given this moment a little bit more of an emotional gravitas to it. I thought that, La Brava finally fixing everything, that was a cool moment for them, for Gentle Criminal and her. They ostensibly saved everyone on that platform, so that's pretty cool to them. We have some stuff with Kurogiri. Whether he saved them or not, I don't know. Maybe they'll have like a little battle and snap him out of it, basically. The stuff with the Shiketsu kids was really fucking cool. I it faked me out for sure. Like when he blew up Hawks, I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, I was like, he's dead.
Yeah. It was like, oh man, this is gonna be the saddest Mario death I have to give, but turns out no, he's alive. It was a cool entrance for them, and I am happy that Shiketsu Kids came in. I feel like maybe if this happened a little earlier, I'd be more excited about it. I don't know what it is. I was happy to see them for sure, because me along with the rest of the people who read this series are like, where the fuck are the Shiketsu Kids? And what was the point of introducing him if you're not going to use him? Well, turns out we just had to be a little patient, but I am happy to see them. I feel like it would have hit a little harder earlier on, perhaps, but hey, honestly, my hope is that these kids actually go toe to toe with All For One, even if they lose. Obviously, they're probably gonna, but this would be a cool moment for them, and especially the Wind guy, because we've had
at least Air Force.
Gale Force. Yeah, he would have had.
He has to dole out some real punishment.
Yeah, if he does that, then I'll be like, this was awesome.
And he needs to support Endeavor's Flames.
He's the him. Wait, he's the him of his school. Yeah. So he has to be the guy.
He's basically Toto of this series.
He's the breadwinner, right?
Yeah, he's the guy. He's basically Toto of My Hero Academia. I would say that. He's the guy from the other school who's a fucking problem. And
he is a problem. He is him.
Yeah, so I hope he gets to display his prowess here and have a cool moment before the series goes into sunset. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Very fun chapter. I like this chapter better than most. So there's that. I
like this chapter a lot better than most too. I can't give it my RGC though.
Yeah, I mean, I do love My Hero Academia, but I have my tussles with it. So I am always excited when I read a chapter of My Hero Academia that brings me a lot of joy, because it's a good series. So I'm always excited when it's doing well. And hey, it's gonna be back next week, so no more breaks for Horikoshi. I wonder if they gave him a couple weeks because he was just like working himself ragged. Like the amount of detail artistically he puts into these chapters is probably wild. So probably fucked up his sleep schedule pretty bad. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about My Hero Academia. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything else to mention?
No.
Before we skedaddle. All right, let us skedaddle then. Boruto. This is Boruto Naruto Next Generations, Chapter 78. Super Idiot. That's the name of this chapter.
Super Idiot, just like that.
Yeah, Super Idiot. Last we left off, Kawaki
I did not catch.
Yeah, Kawaki did deceptions. He did a fooled ya, and he teleported away Naruto and Hinata to the weird alternate dimension verse, wherever the fuck they go.
Weirdo verse.
Yeah, the desert verse where it's just nothing but plain desert or whatever. And everybody around the village, or the relevant characters, are catching wind that Naruto's chakra has vanished, and there are ninjas at the house examining what the hell's going on. They're like, I don't even know what the fuck happened. But at the same time, Kawaki's chakra suddenly registered, and Shikamaru's like, the fuck? Himawari, of course, was not there at the time, so she is still among us in the real world here.
Nice.
Yeah, she just walks home to realize that her parents are gone. Must be terrifying.
Ma?
That? Yeah. Boruto catches wind of this and he's like, why would he do this? So
dude, he's his brother.
Shikamaru's like, I have no fucking idea, bro. I did not see this coming. And he asked Ada to use her powers to check out what's been going on. She confirms that it was definitely Kawaki. and she doesn't really know what he did, but the Hokage and his wife were swallowed by a dark vortex-like thing. And Boruto's just like, moms too? Oh.
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit.
My God. Why my mom?
This nigga's bugging.
Bro, you teleported my mom?
She hasn't been relevant in 8 years.
Our mom?
Yo, she wasn't gonna do nothing. She doesn't even.
Not Horikoshi. Kishimoto had no plans for her, bro.
No.
0. Oh, now he does.
Yeah, well. She's like, she doesn't even. She slapped him without the gentle fist. She just slapped him like a regular person.
It was an actual gentle slap.
Yeah, for real.
She should have sent the chakra wave through his fucking skull and lobotomized. Yeah. Say, yeah, why don't you take a break forever?
Yeah. Why don't you clock out for eternity?
Yeah. Right. She knew she was going to be teleported.
Yeah. So Boruto hears the news and he immediately dashes out of the apartment that they are all in. So she goes off, and Ada uses her ability to look over into the past and see exactly what happened. And with a plain face, Ada is just like, well, based on what they were talking about, it looks like Kawaki's going to try to kill Boruto. And Sarada ain't having... Oh, again. Yeah, and Sarada, of course, doesn't know that Kawaki killed Boruto before. So she's like, wait, what do you mean again?
What you mean?
What you talking about? I thought Code killed Boruto. What's this about? So Shikamaru explains, is like, look, okay, Kawaki is the one who killed Boruto, but Boruto asked him to do it in order to protect everyone from Momoshiki. And Sarada doesn't love that. She's just like, I'm going to go help. And Shikamaru's like, no, don't you stay. Sarada, stay right there. Don't you move. And Sarada's like, no, now that I know that, my friend has been killed once already, I'm not going to let this happen again. And she goes off to go find Boruto and Kawaki. Meanwhile, Boruto gets teleported back to where, the Ninja Mount Rushmore that has all the Hokage faces on it. And there's Kawaki waiting for him. And he's like, heading home, right? I thought you would pass this way. And Boruto just yells at him, like, what are you thinking? What did you do with mom and dad? And Kawaki...
Put him in a Daikokoten.
What was that? A Daikokoten?
Yeah, he put him in a Daikokoten.
Daikokoten. That's crazy. So... Yeah. Kawaki, Daikokoten. Yeah, Kawaki explains that he used the Daikokoten.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you guys saying it like that?
Because that's how it should be said. The Daikokoten. And explains that it's a Shinjutsu that allows access to a dimension where time is frozen. So that's where your mom and dad are. But don't worry, they're not going to starve. They're not going to grow old. They'll just chill there for a while. So
does that mean the Rinnegan was Shinjutsu?
I guess you could use Shinjutsu with it.
Because Sasuke could also like travel dimensions and shit with it.
Yeah, no.
So I guess it was a Shinjutsu.
Yeah, that's what sucks, is that they can't even have Sasuke take him back because his Rinnegan's gone. But anyway, Kawaki explains that, hey, they're not gonna die over there, but you'll never see them again either. And he immediately attacks Boruto. Boruto's like, bro, what the fuck? Why are you doing this now? And Kawaki's like, because you're an Otsutsuki, Boruto. What you mean? What you talking about? And he's like, Boruto's like, that's crazy. Why? Stop this right now. Everybody will be here in a second. And Kawaki's like, I know. That's why I don't have time to talk with you. So he immediately attacks Boruto. Boruto uses his karma powers, and they're about to square up. Meanwhile, we cut back to Amato. Amato's like, "Whoa, what's going on? What's Kawaki doing?" And Sai is just being like, "Yo, shut the fuck up, bro. I'm getting intel right now." And Amato's like, "I heard he assaulted the Hokage. I can't believe it. Why is he doing this?" And Sai explains that, like, well, we wanted to question him, but Kawaki's not cooperating, so it's hard to find him right now because his Sukuna Hikona makes it difficult for us to find him. Worst case scenario, we might have to take extreme measures. And Amato's not happy about that because he needs Kawaki, I think. So he's like, oh God, please don't kill this child. God, for the love of God, please. For the sake of my daughter, please don't kill my child. And yeah, Boruto and Kawaki are still fighting. They're exchanging blows left and right. It seems a little even. And then all of a sudden, Kawaki absorbs a fire jutsu. And who's there but Sarada? She is butt in, and Kawaki gives her one warning. He's like, I'm just going to say this once. If you don't want to die, don't butt in. So Boruto's just trying to get her to run, but Sarada's like, fuck that. I can't leave right now as a shinobi who aims to be Hokage. And Kawaki's like, shinobi, Hokage, you shinobi really are destined to die early. Crazy. He makes a scythe with his hand or some kind of blade, and he swings at Sarada, but Boruto saves Sarada, knocks her out of the way, but not without getting a pretty bad scar on his eye. And this is where we see in the future, we've seen Boruto has a scar across his eye. This is where he got it, I guess, from this battle with Kawaki. So Sarada is just like, oh shit, Boruto, your eye. He's like, I'm fine, just run. And Kawaki,
dope fucking scar, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Kawaki did a favor for him.
Yeah, made him look cooler. He's like, there, I improved your character design. I
made you look less like your pops.
So
now you're your own character.
I use my shinjutsu.
A little bit of edge.
Well, Boruto, I think you could look darker. And you know,
going for the dirty Deku vibes.
You're about to enter your vigilante era, Boruto. So Kawaki's about to do something and end them both, I guess. But then he gets held back by the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the gum gum fruit, just holding on to him. And Shikamaru's also there, using his shadow paralysis jutsu to hold back Kawaki. And at that moment, that's when Sasuke came up with his sword, and is like, "It's over, Kawaki. I'd rather not do this, but I'll kill you."
Slice your fucking neck, boy.
Fucking cut your dumb head off, boy.
Don't resist.
Shouldn't have resisted.
I'm itching to squeeze.
Please. I'm frustrated over the loss of my cool eye. I have frustrations to take out.
I've been tight.
I've been so mad. Oh, I've been swinging my sword in the woods by myself. Just mad.
There's no Renegon. I've had to walk everywhere.
Yeah, what a nightmare for him. I would be so mad.
There's no ninja cars, right?
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, imagine if you could just teleport your whole life and then all of a sudden you can't. I'm pressed.
Right.
Pissed forever is what I am.
Right.
Anyway, so Kawaki's tight because Sasuke's there with a knife at his throat, and he's like, "Oh man, I guess I can't do nothing right now."
Fucking Sasuke's here. I can't do shit.
I'm shadow paralyzed, and Sasuke's here. Ugh.
I would never.
What a bad day for me.
These weirdo snake guys.
So
grasping me.
So yeah, Shikamaru's like, so what the fuck's going on here, man? What did you do to Naruto and Hinata? And Kawaki's like, what needed to be done for the Lord Seventh and by extension Konoha. And Shikamaru's just like, go on, basically. Explain. But yeah, Kaoki doesn't care. He's deep in his like, man, I don't need to explain shit to you. If you don't like what I'm doing, just kill me. Talking about it is pointless. And Shikamaru's considering it. Shikamaru's like, all right, I mean, you said it. But at that moment, that's when Boruto's eyes open. We see the Momoshiki eye. And Kaoki peeps it. He's like, you, Momoshiki. And so he absorbs Shikamaru's shadow possession jutsu, which allows Kawaki to teleport out of there. And basically, Momoshiki tells Kawaki to get the fuck out of there. And Kawaki's like, why are you helping me? And he's like, you're surrounded, Kawaki. Better hurry up and get lost. So Mizuki tries to use his Gum Gum powers to capture Kawaki again, but Kawaki escapes. And yeah, that's that. Shikamaru's pissed. He's like, oh my god, he's running and his chakra's low. So, man, this is terrible. All hands on deck. Find him by any means necessary. And Sasuke is peeping over at Momoshiki, and he's like, what is he trying to do? Why save Kawaki, who wants to kill him? Interesting question, Sasuke. Boruto collapses as he takes over his body again, or I guess Momoshiki lets go. Sarada apologizes for, getting in the way and stuff, and Boruto's like, it's not your fault. It was that blockhead super idiot. And Mitsuki is giving him a shady little glare and is like, yep, that's right. And I'm wondering if he's just mad at Boruto, because he's really staring at him. But meanwhile, we get a visage of Momoshiki staring down at Boruto. He's like, well, boy, you've lost one blue eye. But he says this is just the beginning. You'll go on to lose everything in very short order, and it can no longer be stopped. The end has already begun.
Oh, wow.
And that was Boruto. Josh, what did you think about Boruto chapter 78?
This is actually a really exciting chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. Excuse me. I will say that. I thought the fight was cool. I was just reflecting on how fast things escalated.
Oh yeah.
It went from I thought we was about to have a little slice of life situation, and they chose not to pump the brakes even a little bit.
No. And I'm glad they didn't, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the product was good. I'll say that. So yeah, I don't know what the hell Momoshiki is planning, but I'm gonna be honest. I think it's just they're a pure agent of chaos.
Yeah.
They just want to see the world be bad, and he's like, you know what? If I let Kawaki go, he'll probably do something real stupid.
It reminds me of Sukuna a lot.
Yeah.
The way he plots, the way he be scheming.
I feel like Momoshiki has a plan, where Sukuna, he has no plan. He's so smart and talented that he makes the most out of any given moment. This isn't Jujutsu Kaisen, but he only planned like two things. And he wasn't even sure how he was going to use it. He just thought like, okay, this could be useful later at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And he just bides his time. Momoshiki, I don't know. I guess, you know what? I guess it is the same. Did they see into the future?
Momoshiki?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Did it have clairvoyance?
Probably he could, honestly.
Because he said this is going to be the start of your downfall.
Yeah, because Boruto had some clairvoyance.
Right.
You're right.
Image.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I guess they can see a little bit into the future.
Yikes. Yeah, that sucks. Were those all your thoughts, Josh?
I suppose. I don't really have anything else substantive to mention.
Yeah.
I liked the chapter, though. I really did. It's been a good week so far.
Anything that relates to the time skip stuff, like to the future Boruto stuff, is always really fun to me. just to see how everything unfolds and who really stands on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Seeing how everything unfolds, I think that's the most interesting part of Boruto, is how everything gets to that point. And right now they're doing a really fucking good job at keeping us interested in that storyline, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It took a while for Boruto to be really really interesting series, but right now it is passing with flying colors. I really fucking love the direction this series is taken. And the way they utilize everybody, because it's not like they try to force you to like the kids, right? Like they're not trying to force you to enjoy the new characters. They're allowing the old characters to kind of foster them and make them interesting characters, and always keep them involved regardless if it's their series or not, you know? Like I feel like lesser mangaka would have like tried to make it more about the kids, or like left the old guys out of it. But this series makes a point of having them be around and kind of have them slowly become less relevant over time as the times change, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they handled Naruto and Sasuke's like decline in power is really fucking good. Like they made it realistic to the fact that like how they become weaker and how they become less relevant in the world, you know? And they're still big deals, of course, but you know, less so than they were before, and that opens up more room for the new characters realistically. So I really love the way Boruto has been handling the series so far, and I'm really interested to see what goes on next.
Yeah, I agree. This was a pretty awesome chapter overall. I was actually kind of shocked by how much I liked it. The surprise of Boruto's scar, coming in. I didn't think we'd get a
I didn't think that was coming anytime
yeah.
soon.
So that was cool, I guess. Yeah, this is such a heel turn for Kawaki, and it's not one that like comes out of nowhere. It feels like it makes sense, and it doesn't feel like it's an ass pull of any sort. It feels in line with what Kawaki would do. So I think this is a pretty good twist overall. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know what Momoshiki's up to, but shit was pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't have much else to say that you guys haven't already said. When Boruto's good, it's pretty damn good, and I'm excited to see where the series takes it from here on out.
All we need for this series to be really fucking good is for women to be written decently.
Sarada's not bad, so there's that. Sarada's not terribly written. So
we'll see about that.
Yeah, we will have to. But yeah, are you guys ready to move onward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go. Black Clover. This is Black Clover chapter 351 with the Shogun of the Land of the Sun. It took me a minute to read that because the text feels like it like blends in too much with the background. I can read.
I believe you.
Anyway, last we left off, Asta had resolved to take on the 5-headed dragon all by himself because he's that guy. And he does so. He starts like chopping it up here and there with his Zeton, but unfortunately, the more he cuts it up, it just continues to regenerate. Like anti-magic can only take you so far against these things. Meanwhile, the ice guy, the ice paladin dude, is facing off against Musho. I'm going to call him Musho because he has a pretty long name. Musho Gatake is his full name. I'll try to call him Musho, but Musho Gatake. But yeah, he's fighting off against the ice guy. The ice guy isn't really putting up much of a fight against him because he is the strongest guy in the Ryuzen 7. And we actually get a little bit of a flashback explaining him and even the Shogun's origin. Turns out both these boys, the Shogun and Musho, were in line to rule the Kushu domain, and the Ryu, who is the Shogun currently, was the lord of the Goshu domain. And they were friends since they were kids, and they would spar in friendly matches. But when they were both 17, a plague struck Koshu and Goshu, and people with weak Yoryoku died. So they were trying to figure out a way to find this legendary medicinal herb to save everyone, and the only way to do that is to acquire the Tengetsu, which is the all-seeing eye that Ryu has. But the only thing is that in order to gain the Tengetsu, you will lose all of your Yoku. It's hard to say Yoryoku.
Yo-yo. Mayoku or yo-yo?
Definitely not my Yoku. Maybe it's your Yoku.
Maybe it's your anus.
Not my anus. I'll tell you that. Anyway, so Musho got shook. Musho got shook. He's like, "What? I have to give up all my magic in order to get this eye? Man, what's the point then?
In order to save people?
But then I won't be the strongest." But you know what? Ryu did not hesitate to give up his power, and he says, "If that'll do it, then take my Yoryoku." Musho is just like, "What is that guy doing? He's gonna lose his Yoryoku. He won't be able to be the shogun." But that happened, and he got the Tengetsu, and he was able to save everybody with the power that he'd gained. Musho was mad at him for giving up his abilities, but he kept watching over him, and he realized that Ryu didn't change a bit. Even though he lost his power, he was still like a benevolent leader, nice guy, and a bunch of people gravitated towards that. And he got extremely popular. And when it came time to choose a shogun, they noted that he's got legendary popularity, and his achievements are magnificent, but his lack of magical power is not great. So maybe Mushogatake's Yoryoku is the best, and he should take over the shogun seat. But at that point, Musho said, "Ryu, you're the shogun, and I'm the 7th member of the Ryuzen." And we cut back to present time, and we find out that Musho's ability is iron magic, and he turns himself into this iron god of war statue. It's pretty fucking fire. Not gonna lie, that shit was so cool. And he basically tanks.
Ice is not very effective against steel.
Yeah, he tanks basically all of the ice that is being flung his direction, and he uses his Zetten to cut clean through the paladin guy, and he says, "Too bad, I'm the strongest." But yeah, the other members of the Ryuzen 7 are getting up slowly, and we can't abandon this fight. But then they hear a shout from all the way across, and you see that Ryu is there with that other guy who I guess has the healing magic of Wano, not Wano, of the Land of Sun. And we see that Ryu is yelling at his other soldiers, is like, "Even if nobody knows, I've watched you this whole time. I've seen you fight, your feelings, all your hard work. There's just no way it's okay for you to fall here. Band together and take down that 5-headed dragon." And they're all like, "Yes, sir." And yeah, everybody is pumped up. The vibes are immaculate, and that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Black Clover chapter 351?
This was another chapter that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
The backstory was interesting. I mean, I didn't care that much about these two, to be honest, but it was nice, I guess. They had there was a reason he had no magic at all. Well, Yojutsu, and this was that. So I guess they talked about it, and now he ended up being the shogun. That's also why he has that kind of air of cockiness. Like he's nice with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he could fuck somebody up. But he's like, "Man, back in my day when I had some yo-yos, I would have, niggas like Asta would have got packed. That's how he was feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let my friend help you out because I can't really do it. I knew this ice guy was gonna get smoked. I knew it. I knew
Obviously.
he was gonna be insignificant. And how would you say fodder's fodder? You know?
Fodder's fodder. Wow.
Like, you know, I used to say that's a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No, that's
he's fodder's fodder.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I'll say that.
I mean, is most of these villain characters in Black Clover, you know,
Pretty fodder.
where that's the case? Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay though.
It was just he came back because he was somebody from the past. He came back just to die easily.
That's true.
They flex on, he got a whole backstory on him. That's a trope. He got the end of the backstory. Let me just wrap you up real quick because this was about was showing how cool I am.
Yeah.
You are literally just a canvas that I will paint my story on. You know?
Yeah. I would say that's accurate.
Most people would see in if you go to Black Clover page 14, most people would see the person he's cutting as an actual person. I see a canvas.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Were those all your thoughts?
Those were my thoughts, Chris.
Brian,
Sure.
did you read it? What did you think about this? I know you're on your Black Clover stuff now.
He's on his LOL stuff.
Oh well. No, I'm back on Valorant again.
Whoa, betrayal.
This was a interesting chapter. You know, very Black Clover-y.
Yeah, it was.
Very, very Black Clover-y.
Let's yell from across the room.
Yes, sir.
Let's yell positive affirmations until you guys win a battle.
Just get up and win. All right.
Just Asta doing Asta things while the rest of the supporting cast exists until he's done.
If this kid with the power to cancel out any magic in this world and can do 500 push-ups can do it, then anybody can. Anybody.
You just have to wake up early enough and do enough push-ups.
You just have to get into that grind set.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
That grind set. Yeah, it was a fun chapter. Everybody's just stalling for Asta to like go finish everybody's job essentially at this point. Once he takes care of that giant thing, everybody else is just it's open season for him.
Yeah.
Asta's so strong.
Nice. Well, this was my really good chapter of the week.
Certified RG.
Oh, wait. Before I do that, this is also the audience voted really good chapter of the week.
Oh,
Yo.
DC certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, I had a really good time reading this chapter. I really liked the backstory. I thought it was kind of cool. It really went a long way of improving Musho's status as more than just the cool guy, I guess. And him realizing what was important in life through watching Ryu, selflessly give up his abilities for the sake of other people, and realizing that that's what the real strength is. And I'll use my powers the best way I can, and you should be leading the people because A, the people like you, and B, you have their best interest at heart in a way that I couldn't.
I just beat people up.
Yeah, that's my thing, and I'll serve the people that way. I will beat up who needs to be beat up.
Right.
So that was a cool moment.
Sanctioned violence.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and plus his design as the Iron God of War is pretty sick. I loved it when he was just like, bah, this is cool. I do love all of the Yoryoku that we've seen. Whenever they all displayed their powers, that was pretty cool, especially the Earth guy. So this was no exception. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was very Black Clover at the end, you know? How many times have we seen that part before where it's just like encouraging words from across the nation, basically? It just yelling it at the top of your lungs. But you know, it's those positive vibes that I appreciate Black Clover for, to be honest. It's an endlessly optimistic series.
Yeah.
So I've got nothing else. That was it was my really good chapter of the week. Well earned really good chapter of the week for the audience. And yeah, I got nothing else, dog. You guys have any rebuttals before we move on?
Nah.
All right, let's go. Undead Unluck. Josh, do you want to do this one again or just me?
Yeah, I would love to cover Undead Unluck.
Go for it.
Undead Unluck, chapter number 147. I guess I forgot to download it on the iPad, so give me one moment, guys.
Oh, we'll stall.
Well, I forgot the name of the chapter, but I'll talk about last
Running.
week. Last week, Fuko formulated a plot. She said, we found out that they were going to get a new mission in 3 months, and they also was made aware to the fact of where the artifact Remember is, which is a very important artifact for Fugo's goal and for them to win. They also introduced the idea of bringing every single negator from the entire series on board, even the useless ones, because Fuko is just nice like that. And yeah, so my issue loaded again, and I really like this color page a lot.
It's very adorable.
It had no business being this cute.
Yeah,
no business.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
little
taking
like
a screenshot of this one
yeah,
for the iPad.
Yeah, it's quite literally just them as baked goods of some sort. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like baked dogs. There's like a Pokemon in the new game called Dash Bun, and it reminds you of that.
Oh.
He's yeah. Anyway, the name of this chapter is called Running. Okay, so we cut to Southeast Asia, war zone. Boruto.
Is Boruto a real place? I should have researched this beforehand.
How do you spell it?
Buroja.
Buroja.
Mm-hmm.
Kinda. It's not exactly spelled the same way. Buroja.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a place that is spelled Buroje with an accent.
Boruto.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that. I don't know.
Well, listen, the translators aren't omniscient. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they misspelled something.
Yeah,
It's
it could be a mistake.
Serbia.
Nobody's perfect. Oh, it's in Serbia. Wow, they were off.
Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, we cut the telly, and he can. I guess he's using a device to so he can hear the tanks. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue twisted right now. It's probably because I'm exhausted. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Telly is using a device to almost akin to radar to scope out 3 tanks in the distance. I think he could just hear them. He's using a device to hear them. It's not with his raw ears. He's not that nigga yet. And then so Billy pulls up and he's like, "What's good, bro? Tell me what the plan is." Yeah, excuse me. Just let him know, like, hey, they around us, they got a good chunk of the east, but we got the high ground, so we could probably get the jump on them if we finesse this, something like that. And then Billy's like, "Yeah, we it's time to go after what we really here for." And he's like, "Yeah, and a UFO." You know, Undead Unluck is a curious series, but sometimes they just throw these wicked curveballs, and you're like, right?
Yeah, well, the weapon's called Disc. It's not
It is
called
called
UFO.
Disc, but it's clearly a picture of a UFO. I mean, maybe this is just a projection of imagination. Maybe he's imagining it's this UFO in the sky when really it's just a frisbee.
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, I'm gonna go with it's a UFO.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with accepting that. Anyway, and he's talking about like, yo, is any like I guess it's like well, he says whoever obtains it will have power. It's Uranus. It's essential.
Oh, whose anus?
Not mine, not yours. Uranus. And is this ever gonna stop?
Probably not. It brings me a lot of joy, so probably not.
It is the ancient weapon from One Piece that is, I guess this is in just like in the super future. Many loops. At one of these loops, it was One Piece world,
Mm-hmm.
and then they looped again, and everything was different. Anyway, so they keep talking about this ancient weapon, and they're like, all right, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna hand it over to our employers. Like that's it's gonna cause more of a problem if we give these niggas a weapon like this. They're not gonna relax. They're gonna kill people, and I suppose they kind of have a. No, I don't suppose that it's revealed later that Billy and the rest of the team do in fact care about humanity, and that is their ultimate goal, to save humanity and bring less war. Very nice stuff.
Yeah.
So like Billy's like, nigga, we're not giving that to nobody. We're gonna hold it down and create a new world order. I digs that. Telly digs it too. And I hope everybody listening along would dig that.
I dig that.
Because I'd put my trust in Billy and Telly than the people currently in charge. So we cut to we cut to this tent, and Telly starts singing tunes, and did you call it, Chris? You called it. I don't know if you called this. We're gonna get into that later. But he's singing. He has this beautiful voice, and he's singing to these wounded soldiers. Yeah, that's cool. So he's like, just relax. I'll keep y'all safe. Don't worry about it. And they're like, man, get the fuck out of here with that. We already know we're dead men. We're dead. Literally, we're corpses.
We're dead.
We're talking corpses. And as soon as the sun rises and we go out on that battlefield, they're gonna toss us out there like sacks to get shot up. Because I guess tactically that's superior. Not to me though. They literally say the most we can do is act as decoys. Jesus Christ. But so Telly starts going in on them. He's like, I don't think of ourselves that way, and it's not soft to give a fuck about people. We're gonna all return, and I'm not trying to hear it. And then they're like, come on, Telly, man. We're with the we're Horizon Balance. That's their squad, their mercenary squad, I guess. And their ulterior motive is world peace as hired mercenaries. So well, however, what am I doing, right?
I'm not doing shit.
Right?
Hey, who am I to judge?
Hey, you gotta get it how you can, right? Sure. So, Telly's literally crying, talking about how until the day, like he won't stop fighting until the day the world is fair and balanced. I was clapping for those that couldn't hear that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that a lot. There's a lot of emotion there. So the guys that again the talking corpses said, yeah, we with the shits. We know that our lives are me. But at the same time, I do have several bullet holes in my chest. So I'm just trying to come to the reality.
I'm currently passing away. I can't.
Yeah, don't take it personal, Telly. It's okay. Why don't you sing another song? Maybe it'll heal me. So so he goes so he goes out to see Billy, and he's like, I'll swap in. I guess, so that he can listen on the radio and then go take some rest. And he's like, nigga, was you crying? What? And he's like, oh, so you can see after all, huh, Captain? Was there a joke that I missed earlier about him being blind?
I was wondering that too. I was like, did I
miss something?
Did I forget? Was Billy blind this whole time?
Help, please.
Please help. Please help if you've been listening in. I genuinely don't remember
anything.
I was like, is he blind? Is he blind in this reality, but not in the reality before?
Was he blind before?
Was he blind before? I don't know.
I mean, did he ever said I can see you? Like, because blind people in anime are actual gods. Oh, it's not like just because he was doing conventional things doesn't mean he wasn't blind.
Yeah.
This is a manga after all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Japanese one at that.
I don't know. I don't actually remember if he was blind or not. But anyway.
Well, anyway. So let's move on. I'm willing to what do you say? Suspension of disbelief?
Well, I
guess
don't
know. I'm sure there's a better term.
Yeah. I don't think that's it.
To say I'm willing to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Kelly is mad convicted. My stance remains unchanged. I will not let anyone die. This is why I became a telecommunications man.
It's a little on the... Your name is also Telly.
Is that his nickname or his real name? Whatever. I actually don't care. So he's listening out for the tank. He's like, holy shit, 5 tanks fully loaded? Impossible. The insufficient resupply was a ruse. And they're heading toward the camp. Okay, so I got a little confused here because I don't understand, like, how were you not surprised that these tanks was around?
Because he saw there were like 3. He didn't know there would be like 5. 5 fully loaded tanks.
How do you know? How does he know they're fully loaded?
He just gets the vibe.
I'm just making sure I'm not the only, I wasn't missing something.
Well, maybe he's intercepted a communication because he is listening on a radio. So they're just like talking about how they're 5 tanks and they're fully loaded.
Maybe. Okay.
He's like, yeah, there are 5 of us here, boss, and we're fully loaded.
And we're fully loaded, just letting you know again.
And we're heading towards the camp.
Right now.
Just thought you should know.
Extra 2 tanks then from the other day.
Just thought you should know. Just letting you know before we get there.
Keeping everyone on the same page. That was an informant. But anyway, so Telly's like, I gotta fucking let them know, and we finally get his negator ability revealed, which is Untell. Chris was right. We'll talk about it later. Tella, self-targeting compulsory reactivation type. So basically, any and all means of communication that utilize his own body are negated. So he tries to yell into the walkie-talkie. It didn't work. Then he tried to do Morse code, and his finger just stopped. Then he tried to run to go tell people to do something, and he just stopped running. I was like, yeah. Oh, they are dead ass with this shit.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
That nigga thought of everything. He's like, what else? You can't send a smoke signal.
Nope.
No SOS.
Nope.
You can't clap your hands in a sequence.
You can't say shit.
When he's like, why? I was like, oh my gosh, man. I actually felt, I'm laughing right now, but as a matter of fact, like, I took a very lighthearted approach to this chapter, but this was actually kind of serious for me, reading it. This is a pretty in-depth chapter, which, spoilers, was the RGC for me. There's nothing left, right? I mean, it kind of was already decided, but yeah. And this is part of it, man. This kind of this is a big, Kelly really sold it. I don't love him as a character right now, but it's just how dynamic he was. It's so different from what I was seeing. And this is the type of shit that I really like in Undead Unluck right now, that he did not forget about his characters. He knew. He was like, "Don't worry, we're gonna spin the block and make everything right." This is like a dream. How many times have I said this? This is like what we wish happened to all the series that ended in a way we didn't want it to.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. So he cannot communicate. He's like, they're going to kill everyone. Someone, please, anyone. And then we get, I forget Undercrease's name, but that is Undercrease.
Creed.
And he's like, Creed, thanks. And someone's like, Captain, ready to fire on your command. And Creed is like, yeah, fire. Bam! Man, I'll be honest. I don't think they needed more than one tank to destroy them. Yeah, man, Kelly's just destroyed. Cause he knows. He's like, Guile killed my family. It's over. Sonic boom. Direct hit. No ensuing explosions. Doesn't seem like it was a munitions depot. Just a medical can. Nigga said that works too. Yeah. Right.
You know what's crazy?
To figure out, right?
You know what's crazy about this? I have a question. If this is what happened in the previous loop, then how did Creed ever team up with these people? Like, how did they let that rock?
Well, obviously Billy and them didn't die. It probably happened differently.
Maybe
a little differently. There are slight variations sometimes, I think, right?
Yeah, that's fair. There are slight variations.
Although it is oddly convenient. There's got to be more explanation to this. Mm-hmm. Maybe they still survived in another No, it's a little.
Maybe they'll explain that maybe they'll explain that and stuff.
But. Maybe. Well, let's call it out because we know they all watch New Jump City and listen to it. Both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They listen to it in the morning when it comes out, Tuesday mornings mostly, and then they catch the YouTube of each individual breakdown. Like and subscribe, guys, and
please
follow us on podcasts. So, anyway, so Guile's talking all that shit. I think I said no angel is gonna step in and intervene. If you want to hurry and get home, then you better sell your souls to the devil. Wow, that's raw. He's definitely American. Hey, and then he starts hearing in his ear. He's like, "Stop with all the mumbling. You got a death wish." He's willing to kill his own. Yeah, he's American all the way. The camp, it's unscathed. Nothing happened to it, even though we unloaded everything. They're like, oh, basically everyone started to like get compromised. As Creed does, what the hell's going on? And boom, your boys pull up. Come on, Gangsta Town Part 5 shit.
Yeah.
I wish I could hear it in my headphones, but I know it. I know you did it. I know you did it for me, man.
I did,
and I appreciate that. And I did count the parts. This is indeed Gangsta Time Part 5.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
I heard it this time.
I did it.
Oh, you didn't play it before?
No, I just did it.
Oh, I just assumed you did because I usually can't hear the drops. I heard that one though.
Some of them are louder than others, I think.
Well, anyways, the crew shows up looking honestly way cooler than I ever would have imagined.
Yeah.
How else? I can't really say it in any other way. All poses are cool. All outfits are cool. Fuko says, "I'm going to keep up the heat." She could have said anything else, but like, man, what is going on?
Despite the fact that I'm dressed as a knight, I'm still packing heat. No shame.
Black Clover was cool too. You like Iron Yojutsu? I get it. It's cool.
No, this is great. This was my second place. Very close for me.
My Hero was third. Wow, One Piece was
was it? I don't know. It was a tough week.
I like
lots of stuff
in My Hero equally. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And Black Clover. I like Black Clover, but Undead Unluck, and then the rest is on the same plane for me.
Yeah,
that's how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear the drop that I just played for you, but
Nope.
It was based on what you said.
Pull out my weapon.
Yeah.
I picked this one.
Despite the fact that I'm dressed to the nines, I'm still packing heat, and I'm gonna
pull
out my weapon.
They are dressed to the nines and packing heat. Yes, that was the perfect. Yeah. Yo, she got the heat. I just got blown away.
Bow, bow, bow.
I just got blown away.
Nothing like a nothing like a little good, well-placed Bruce Rivers.
This is just some really murderous shit.
Some really murderous shit. Oh yeah, you know we love that at New Jump City. Certified.
Oh, yeah.
This is part of the war in the Bronx.
I got to give you your. This is Josh's really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Did you want to continue with your thoughts as long as you're on it?
No, I want you to start with your thoughts.
I mean, what can I say? This was a really good chapter. Very close second. I love Tello's backstory. Every time they really like dive into some of these characters' backstories, it's honestly one of the best. And I feel like I've said that with every ensuing backstory we get from these characters, but Telly's is pretty damn good. And I knew it just like by the design of the character that we've seen before. I'm like, oh, this guy's got something. This guy's got something going on here. But yeah, this was a particularly depressing story to read. I can't imagine what.
I mean, chapter was Shimon, but it was still depressing,
dude.
You know,
the way that I felt for him, because like Josh said that I called this, and I guess I did.
You did. You 100% did.
I got the name of the negation wrong. I said it would be like unspeakable, which it probably should have.
Yeah, but that. Yeah.
But Untel is also probably better.
Untel?
Yeah. Well, Untel, I feel.
Tell somebody.
Yeah, I feel like Untel is probably a better word because that encompasses, like, unspeakable is like you can't speak. But Untel is like you can't tell nobody nothing. So you can't
at all.
Not all forms of communication.
Able to communicate in the future.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but maybe it's like something through the machine. I don't know.
His power is completely useless.
Yeah, he doesn't have a particular. Well, that's the thing is that some of these negations are pretty useless.
Which other one was useless? I don't remember. This one being this useless. This is like top.
Well,
this is 1000% detrimental. Fuko would have to be at like second, but she learned how to take control of it. This guy just.
Hey, maybe there's something to this guy's negation that, we don't know that he could do something with. Because there always seems to be a little bit of a trade-off, Like, you can't do
right.
this,
that's why it was so weird. I hope.
We'll have to see. But, but
we'll
I felt for him in that moment where he was just like, the power of communication is just so fucking, you never underestimate. You always underestimate how important it is to communicate with people, and this is a pretty big deal. God, I can't imagine just like all your loved ones on the other side. You can't tell them that they're about to get blown up,
bombarded.
Yeah, and it was such an
unlimited shells.
Yeah, with this dramatic ass explosion, they were about to get eviscerated. But yeah, I mean, like Josh said, that last 2-page spread was so cool. Everybody's, even Void with his big ass fucking fist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really excited to see how this series commences, and how they save Creed, because I know Fuko wants to get Creed on the side of good. So I don't know how you're gonna convince this guy was about to let his other people die. So.
Right, he's nigga said you got a death wish for mumbling on the radio. I mean, I guess that is a big deal. You don't want to fuck around with the communications,
as we just learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. It was basically my runner-up, and it was a very close call between Black Clover and this. So Undead Unluck is pretty great. Read it, Josh. What did you think?
Okay, so it's not that Undead Unluck does like character building the best or anything like that. It's just that he has such a good style of doing it in such a short amount of time. He's really good at that, and making you kind of feel a like legitimate pull towards a character due their like small tragedy. And then he gives us because he gives us a taste of who they are a little bit, and then it's a little bit more potent in the second loop. Now that we've seen certain characters and there was a lot of mystery held from them, so it's like this now we're getting paid off. But like not having a fucking clue for thinking he was just an edgelord before, and it's like, nah, this was one of the coolest dudes out of them all, and he got one of the worst abilities in situations. And here's Fuko here to save them and be a real hero.
Yeah.
Fuko better fight poverty after they finish murdering God.
I think that's a UMA.
There probably is a poverty UMA. I wish there was a poverty UMA that I could kill.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Yeah.
I think there is, and it's called. I don't want to get us man. No, because I said something like not that extreme on Facebook and got my comment banned. Can you believe that? That was the first time that ever happened.
That's interesting.
It did have the word murder in it, but nobody's name in particular. It was just
general murder. Just in general.
Someone asked if you had got superpowers, what would be the first thing you do? And I said that murder? I would go Bobby Shmurda, all of the billionaires.
Yeah, I guess that's a good. I guess that's something.
It means a production.
Hey, I'll tell you what. That's not nothing. Well, you
didn't say Bobby Shmurda, by the way.
No, you definitely said the other. You said the latter part of that. Well, that's not nothing, Josh. I guess what would you do? Murder?
I mean, that's a pretty empty threat. Like,
yeah, I know. It's just funny.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get superpowers. So
hey, never say never.
Okay. Well, if I did, well,
now you know.
Don't be surprised when your boy's on the news.
Anyway, were those all your Undead Unluck thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome chapter. Shimon chapter, I would say.
Shimon chapter, yeah.
Great
Shimon
chapter.
Week.
Yeah, it's been a Shimon week for sure.
Right, Brian?
Yeah, it's been pretty Shimon.
You would say this was Shimon?
Yeah, I'd say this was a Shimon.
All right, well, let's close this out. Shimon. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram. At New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. And he streams sometimes on twitch.tv/It's Punchline. Check him out on that. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to send us any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with all of that stuff. Or you can comment under the video that you're watching, whether it's the full version of the podcast or the highlight breakouts that we make for you guys every week. While you're at it, subscribe to the show. Never miss an episode or a highlight breakout there. And be privy to the really good chapter of the week poll that goes up every week, where you guys get to vote for your favorite chapter, and we reveal it on the show. I actually remembered to do it this week, so that's good. I did it. I'm learning. But yeah, check us out on that. If you prefer audio podcasts, you can check us out wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And yeah, that's it for the week. Check out the Shweekly podcast, my new show. It's a fun time.
At 4 a.m. when I clock in tomorrow.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's
How
been
long
our.
is it?
It's like 20 minutes. Yeah, the show ranges from 15 to 20 minutes. It's a short show. Every episode is basically between that. It doesn't really exceed 20 minutes.
not going to do much for my morning, but I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, that's it for this show. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens. I got mush mouth there.
Peace out, y'all.